Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we will talk about the computer science 04782210 paper 2 October number 2020 pre-release material solution for the task 2 and 3. In my this second video we will be continuing the last started pre-release material for which I have already shared the video about the task 1. Now moving toward the task 2 of the pre-release material. Now in the task 2 you can see that the task 2 says that now we have to actually extend the task number 1, and you remember that in task 1 we have actually selected the basic component of the computers, different parts, and for the online computer shop. And now in task 2 ordering additional items, and we have to actually extend task 1 to allow a customer to choose whether to purchase any item from the other categories, if so which item, then update the price of the computer, store and output the additional item, and the new price of the computer. So these three things we have to do in task 2, and that is that after selecting the basic component from these three categories, that are case, RAM, and hard disk drive, which we did in task 1, and selecting one from each category and completing the basic set of component. Now the task 2 will let the customer to choose more components, to choose more item from the remaining category, and which includes the solid state drive, which include the secondary hard disk drive, and which include the optical drive and operating system. Now we have to make a way for the customer to select further items from these categories, and if he selects these, then we have to definitely update the price, which will be the updation of the price from task 1, the price which we have calculated in task 1, that is now going to be updated by adding the newly selected different items, and then that new price of the computer, and the output of the additional items, and the new price of the computer, it will be output. So this is what we have to do in task 2. And in task 3, then after completing the task 2, task 3 says offering discount. Now that is, task 3 is actually the extension of task 1, and in task 3 we have to apply 5% discount to the price of the computer if the customer has bought only one additional item from these categories, and apply a 10% discount to the price of the computer if the customer has bought 2 or more additional items. So in task 3 we have to actually apply discount percentage on the newly added items, and then we have to output the amount of money saved and the new price of the computer after the discount. Okay, now you can see in task 2 as we discussed that in task 2 we have to actually allow customer to choose whether to purchase additional items from other categories, if so which item, and number 2 is that update the price of the computer, and 3 is store and output the additional item and price of the computer. So these three subtasks we have to accomplish in task 2. Now you can see the declaration of the variables which we need over here is, one is the choice, which is as string, and then extra price as real. So the very first thing that we will do is that we will prompt for with a message that do you want to purchase any additional item. So this message will be prompted yes or no, and this message will be input in the variable choice, which is this, and then based on this message that either the customer want to, if he says that yes, then based on this yes, then we are going to again prompt for how many items to add. Now we will ask for the number of the item the customer want to add into the existing, and this n will be used as to set the size of new arrays, as we have to declare 3 arrays for the storage of the additional item code. So we need additional item code, we need additional description, and then additional item price. So these three things we are going to store. As you know, when the customer will decide to add more item, then definitely the very first thing is that to ask how many item, and then based on that choice, if the customer says let's say 2 item, then definitely we need to get the detail of these 2 items, that what will be the item code of these 2 item, and then what is the description we will assign to it, and then definitely the price we will also retrieve. So these 3 additional arrays we will declare as a next step, and then after that again we'll ask for enter the item code. Now the customer will enter the item code. This is a single message that we will display before the loop, and then we are going to input the item code only. We will just input the item code for the new addition of the items. So we will set a loop index I 1 to n, and then we will add these items into the additional item code. So this array will get the item code for the number. Let's say if the customer says 2 more item to add, then definitely the array additional item code will get these 2 items, and it will be stored into it. So this is going to be additional item code. So it will be now n, and n is actually 2. So definitely the customer will then input the additional item, and that it will come over here. These 2 items will be added over here. So here what we are doing, we are actually inputting the number of the item. Based on the number of the item the customer set to add, we will ask for the accordingly we will ask for the item code of those items, or the number of the item which the customer has decided to add. So after this, what we will do, when we will get these 2 codes, let's say the customer actually, when we say the code, now the choice is actually from these categories. This is 1 category, and this is 2nd category, this is 3rd, this is 4, and this is 5. So you know these categories are left. So customer has to actually, when he says n means the customer is going to tell that how many items. Let's say he says 3 items, and if as we did it says for example 2 items, then 2 items from these categories. Now this is not this one, but this from here. Yes, 1 2 3 and 4 from these 4 categories. So for example he select D1 and he select then F1. So these are 2 items he said to add. So these 2 items will be now input into the array of additional item code, and based on these 2 items we will further proceed. Now further proceeding, you can see in this table, in this chart, you can see that now we will not go to this basic set categories. We will not provide the customer to select any item from here, because these 3 categories are already selected. Now the choice is actually given for category number 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in these categories, as I told you that the customer, for example, he has opted let's say this D1 for example, and F1, these 2 because n was 2, he said 2 items, and then the first array additional item code, additional item code. So it has also got 2 values like this, D1 and F1. So now what is the next job? Next job is that for this D1, now we have to retrieve this 240 GB SSD, number 1, and from the item description, and we have to retrieve this data, and we have to assign it to additional item. We have to assign it to additional item description. We have to assign it. This is what we will do now, description. And then the third is the price, additional price. We also have to retrieve this because the customer has opted D1. Now based on the customer choice, first we ask how many categories, how many items. He said 2. Then we have to ask for, after then we ask that the codes, item code to input. Then let's say the customer has input D1 and F1. Now the third thing we will do ourselves, and that is against this D1 we will look for on the same index. Let's say the index is 8. So on the item description and index number 8, we will retrieve this data and we will assign it to additional item description. And then additional price, this price is also going to be retrieved, and after retrieving from price array, we will bring it and we will assign it to the additional price. So now these arrays, these new created arrays will get the additional values, will get the reference to the original arrays, and it will retrieve the description and the price of the opted item code. Okay, now we can see this that after inputting the additional item code, now we will do this. This is the retrieval of the item code from the original array, and this we will assign to additional item code. Now the first thing, yes, you can also see that I have here we are actually we are doing this in 2 loop, and we have nested for loop, and one loop is I, which is 1 to n, and the j, which is from 8 to 16. So we are not doing from 1 to 16, but we are doing from 8 to 16, and the reason is that from 0 to 7 is already it is already selected, or it is already processed in the task 1. Now in task 2 we are moving from 8 to 16, and the first thing is that we have to search it. Yes, definitely this point is important, that the additional item must be there in the item code. If the person has entered an item code, let's say that item code is not in the additional item code, if it is not in the item code, then definitely will not proceed. So what we will do here is that first the item code with the customer has input over here must be there in the item code, and if it is found, then what will happen, then only we will assign the description to the additional item description array, and then price of the item to the additional price array. So now this is the retrieval. This is actually what we are doing over here is the retrieval. I will also write here, this is the retrieval. This is the retrieval of data from original array. Okay, now this, after doing this, now the data is retrieved. Now the next thing is that in the next step, now we have to calculate the price, and you already have seen that in the start we have declared extra price as real, and now again we will assign, we will use by using a loop from 1 to n. Why 1 to n? Because now we are actually working on the new array, we are not working on the old array, on the original or the initial arrays. We are working on additional item price. We have to, the price, the extra price will be calculated from the additional item price, which is retrieved for the codes which the user has opted, which the user has selected. So these additional price we will be adding it into we are doing totaling over here with on the variable extra price. So extra price is equal to extra price plus additional item price. So this additional item price which is retrieved here will be added into, and it is not only one price. When we will assign loop, it means if we have 3 new prices, then these 3 new prices will be stored in it. Okay, what we mean by how we will add it, I will also give you a little brief, little detail of it. You know that we have actually there are three arrays that we have retrieved. One is this, let's say, second is this, and third is this, and these three arrays we have retrieved after searching. Let's say this is item, additional item code, and this is additional item description, and this is additional item price. So when we have 1 2 3 1 2 3 and we have 1 2 3, so here we have, let's say, item code is for example, it is C1, it is D1, it is F1, let us suppose, and then further descriptions over here, and then some price. Let's say I'm putting just the dummy data. For example, it is 70, it is 129, it is 100. So what this loop will do, how you will get the extra price means, we will, based on this, we are going to just add these things together. This is 70 plus 129 plus 100, so we are going to add these values. This is, you need to understand over here. So coming to this point again, so what I was saying is that when the customer, let's say he selected D1, and for example as we were saying E1 and F2, so from here it will retrieve the values, like this is 59.99 plus 49.99 plus 50. So these three will be added, and this is going to be a new price. This is going to be the new price that will be added into the original price, and that was that we calculated in the task 1. So this is what we did here. This loop will actually calculate the extra price, and this is the extra price is calculated in this way. And then updated price. Now we are going to updated price means now this extra price is going to be added into the total price. This total price we have already calculated in task 1. Now adding the extra price into the total price, we will actually get the updated price. Now in the next step, we are going to print the list of the items that are newly added. So for that we have the again the loop of index from 1 to n, an additional item code, index, and these three things we will print, because these three arrays, it contain the newly added item, their detail, their code, their description and price. And then after the loop, when we will print these things, then we are going to print the updated price. So this is actually the accomplishment of task 2. And with the task 2, I'm going to describe the task 3 as well, because it will be the part of it. So you can see task 3 says that to apply a 5% discount if this n is 1, the customer selects the additional item 1, he only selected one additional item, and if this n is not 1, if it is 2 or more than 2, then it is 10%. So based on the task 2, where the customer is actually opting for the number of additional items to be added into the selection, the number of additional items which the customer will actually select, it will give him the percentage of discount. So for that, what we are doing, we are declaring discount variable, we are declaring a discount availed variable, and new discounted price. These three variables we have declared over here. Discount is initialized as 0, and if n is 1, then the discount is 0.5. 0.5 is actually, we have calculated 5% is actually 0.5. 5 divided by 100 is 0.5. And if n is greater than or equal to 2, then discount is 0.1, that is 10%. Okay. So now based on how many items the customer will select in task 2, the percentage of discount will be allocated accordingly. Now the new discount avail we will calculate, updated price into discount. So the price we have calculated in task 2, which was updated price, now we are going to multiply it with the discount so that we will get the discount, that what is the amount of discount. Then we are going to deduct this discount avail from the updated price and we will get the new discounted price. So this is how we actually calculated the new discounted price. And in the end what we will do, we will print the new price after availing discount. So we will also tell that what is the discount and what is the new discounted price. So this is the task 3. Now we will see how we have implemented this pseudocode into the VB.NET. Now we can see here in the coding that this is the coding, and from task 2 it is from here. Let me make it little larger so that visibility should be more clear. Okay, so task 2 you can see the same with the declaration of choice and extra price, updated price, and then we are asking for the choice from the customer, and if the choice is yes or Y, and then how many items we want to add. This n is very important. You can see this n is actually setting the size. It is based on this n we will adjust the size of additional item code, additional item description, additional item price, and then enter the item code for the new addition. And I have also listed the available options like solid state drive D1 D2, secondary hard disk drive E1 E3, E1 E2 E3, optical drive F1 F2, and operating system G1 G2. So this is the menu which will appear after asking that enter the item code for new addition, so that the customer should know what are the available options and what are the codes to select. Then here the customer is actually selecting, entering the additional item, and then enter item code for additional item. This is index, it is at 1, and additional item code. So here additional item code, this is actually additional item code. So the customer is going to tell the additional item code from the available option, and after that when the customer will enter the additional item codes, so let's say he based on the n, based on the number of the item he has opted. Now in this in these few lines what we are doing two things. One is that we are searching that is that item code is available in the list, and then if it is found, then what we are doing based on the j, the value of the j on which we will reach when that additional item code will match to the additional item match to the item code, what we will do, will retrieve the description from the original array and we will assign it to the additional item description array, and we will retrieve the price of the item from the original array, and then we will assign it to the additional item price. So this is how we do this thing here. And then now we actually are left with we have populated the additional item code, additional item description, and additional item price. We have populated these 3 arrays with searching and retrieving. Now the next thing is that we are updating the price, and you already have seen this thing that the extra price from the this is initialized to 0, and this is how we are calculating it. We are doing totaling, and we are doing this only on the additional item price array, this new array. We are totaling the price which is populated in this array. Let's say if it has the size of 3, then 3 prices will be added, and if it is the size of 2, then 2 prices will be added, and we will actually calculate the extra price from here. And this extra price is going to be added into the total price which was calculated in task 1, and then we will come to the updated price, and this updated price is actually the price of the basic set and then the additional item which the customer has selected. Now we are going to print it. Then here the list of the item added, and these lines are actually we are printing the additional item code, the additional item description, and additional item price. So these three things will be printed, and in the end the updated price will also be printed over here. So this is the accomplishment of the task 2. And in task 3 you have seen that it is actually the calculation of the discount which will be assigned, which will be given to the customer. And if n is 1, the discount is 0.5. If n is 2, the discount is 0.1. and the discount avail, you have seen the formula and how this is how we actually calculated new discounted price, and we will print the discount and we will also print the price. So this is all about the task 2 and the task 3. Now I'm going to run it so that you can better examine and analyze that how task 1, 2, 3 is accomplishing the set goals. Now entering the item code, that is, let's say A1, B1, C1. Now it's showing that the price of the case, RAM and hard disk is 203. Total prices, okay, one thing is that we have did a little change in the task 1. This you will note over here is that we have also added an initial price of 200, which was written in the pre-release. An initial price of 200 will be added into the basic set of component, which is case, RAM and hard disk. So the initial price is actually 403 for these 3 items which I have selected in task 1. And now these are the items: case is compact, RAM is 8 GB, hard disk drive is 1 terabyte. Now it is saying, do you want to buy more item? I say yes. How many items you want to add? I say 2. Enter the item code for new addition. Solid state drive, so we have the option of solid state drive, we have the option of secondary hard disk, we have the optical drive. So because I have opted 2, so I will select 2 items from here. So I will add one solid state drive, that is D1, and the other one is that I will add operating system G1. So now you can see that what output is here. Additional item code D1 has a description of 240 GB solid state drive, and additional item price is 59.99, and the additional item code for G1 is standard version operating system, and the additional item price is 100, and the updated computer price is 562.99. So 562.99 is actually the price which was added into 403. So 403 is now updated to 562.99, and the new price after availing 0.1 discount is 506.691. So this is how we actually we accomplish the pre-release material and the task 2 and task 3. I hope that it will help you students to better understand and better use and better prepare for the pre-release material. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.